According to Gallup, about 15 million U.S. adults say they've used these injectable drugs to reduce their body weight.
I'm over this whole Ozempic shaming thing, and I'm also over people asking, are you on Ozempic?
Sure. I'm very, very scared of what will happen if and when people have to go off of this drug.
When a drug meant to treat diabetes suddenly turns into Hollywood's hottest and most controversial weight loss craze, you know there's more to the story. Imagine this, reality TV's biggest names undergoing such extreme makeovers that even their loved ones barely recognize them. In the glittering yet ruthless universe of the Real Housewives, beauty isn't just a goal, it's a war zone. Tonight, we're diving into the 15 most jaw-dropping Real Housewives transformations that push things way too far. Some proudly owned it, others denied it, and a few, well, their faces said it all. And believe me, the higher we climb on this list, the wilder and more unbelievable it gets.
You know, Ozempic, I have to say, I know I'm going to get the backlash, is an incredible tool.
Caroline Stanbury was never one to keep secrets. The glamorous Dubai socialite openly confessed on her podcast that she'd been using Ozempic, proudly calling it her magic trick for staying slim in her late 40s. But behind that honesty was a far more troubling story. In just 4 months, Caroline shed nearly 25 pounds from an already slender frame. Her transformation was so extreme that fans began referring to her new look as the Dubai Hollow. Even her co-stars, Lisa Milan and Chanel Ayan, reportedly pulled producers aside, voicing genuine concern that Caroline was becoming almost unrecognizable. But what really stunned viewers was her attitude. Instead of hiding the consequences, Caroline turned them into content. She filmed herself joking about vomiting after a single glass of champagne at a Cartier event. She laughed about forgetting to eat for 2 days, as if it were just another quirky habit. Food just doesn't seem necessary anymore, she said during an Instagram Live, while thousands of worried fans flooded her comments. The most disturbing moment came during a lunch that never made it to air. According to insiders, when Ayan gently asked if she was okay, Caroline ordered a $50 salad, then simply played with the lettuce while discussing her next fashion shoot. Medical experts who reviewed her public comments warned that her symptoms suggested dangerously high doses of the drug. For someone already slim, that kind of usage can cause the body to reject even essential nutrition. Yet, Caroline kept documenting her Ozempic journey online as if it were another glamorous getaway. Her story stopped being about transformation. It became a cautionary tale, a haunting reminder of what happens when social media glamorizes suffering and when weight loss starts to matter more than health itself.
Well, my ultimate goal is to basically lose 20 pounds, to get back to where I was last year.
Kandi Burruss has always built her empire on one thing, keeping it real. So when she opened up about her Ozempic struggle on YouTube, Atlanta was stunned. The Grammy-winning star didn't hold back or dress it up with excuses. She confessed that she spent nearly $1,200 a month for 3 straight months and still didn't lose a single pound.
And I saw so many people that were trying it and they was losing weight. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this. And I didn't lose any weight.
While her fellow housewives seemed to be shrinking before the cameras, Kandi's body refused to budge. Even under doctor supervision, she increased her dosage, waiting desperately for that famous appetite suppression everyone online was talking about, but it never came. Instead, Kandi found herself right back at her family's restaurant, Old Lady Gang, ordering wings, mac and cheese, and peach cobbler like always. I kept waiting for food to disgust me, she admitted in her viral video. Everyone said you stop craving food on this stuff. But there I was, taking these pricey shots and still driving straight to McDonald's after. determined to make it work. She even brought in a top nutritionist, spending another $2,000 a month to optimize her results. Still, nothing changed. The emotional toll started to weigh heavier than the number on the scale. At every Atlanta event, Kandi watched her co-stars transform. Kenya Moore's slimmer silhouette turning heads, Marlo Hampton appearing airbrushed in real life, while she stood there paying the same money, taking the same injections, and seeing zero results. Later, doctors would explain that 15 to 20% of users are non-responders to these medications. But in the ruthless world of the housewives, not responding wasn't just bad luck, it was almost a public humiliation.
Can you tell us what have you done for the newest version of you?
Oh my God, I work out now. I am fit now.
Julia Bailey spent decades commanding runways and gracing magazine covers before joining the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So when rumors began swirling that even the legendary supermodel had turned to Ozempic, the fashion world was stunned. But the truth, as it turned out, was far more complicated. In a candid September 2023 interview, Cynthia opened up about her experience. "I'm being transparent," she said. "I gave it a try, but I had to stop." Her reason was simple yet chilling. "I didn't like how it made me feel. It changed something inside me that scared me." For a woman who had built an entire career on natural beauty, discipline, and self-assurance, the drug felt like a betrayal of everything she stood for. Cynthia described feeling detached from herself, like I was wearing someone else's skin, she confessed. "I've been modeling since I was 18. I know my body, but this made me feel like a stranger to myself." Fans claimed they noticed the brief transformation. Her iconic cheekbones appeared sharper, her signature smile seemed thinner, and in photos from that month, she looked like a version of herself even she didn't recognize. "I looked in the mirror and thought, who is that?" she admitted. Her decision to walk away after just 30 days sent shockwaves through both the fashion and reality TV worlds. Here was a woman who had competed against models half her age and stayed camera ready for decades. Yet she was brave enough to say the shortcut wasn't worth it. Behind the scenes, cast members later revealed that Cynthia privately warned them, calling the injections a deal with the devil. But while she chose health over Hollywood's impossible standards, another housewife decided to go all in, proudly celebrating her 35-pound transformation, until the backlash came crashing down.
God, I hope a real good shakeup. You know that tornado that came through my neighborhood? I hope it comes through the show, honey.
Leanne Locken was never known for subtlety, and her Ozempic journey proved it. While others denied and deflected, Leanne stood tall and unapologetic. "Yes, I'm using it. Yes, I've lost 35 pounds. And yes, I look amazing," she declared to her followers, turning her transformation into a public spectacle. On social media, she proudly posted dramatic before and after photos that looked like two completely different people. In just 6 months, the fiery Dallas personality went from curvy and confident to almost unrecognizably thin. She believed her honesty would earn respect. Instead, it made her a cautionary headline. Fans who once admired her boldness began expressing concern. They said the woman known for her larger-than-life presence now looked like she'd been digitally shrunk. Her once fierce expressions appeared hollow, and that famous radiant smile looked stretched too thin across a sharply angular face. But what really fueled the backlash was her response. When worried fans commented, Leanne snapped back with, "Jealousy is a disease." And when one follower wrote that they missed her old look, she simply blocked them. Soon, her feed became filled with daily outfit photos captioned with lines like, "Skinny feels better than food tastes." Behind the scenes, former castmates painted a more troubling picture. They revealed Leanne had grown fixated on the scale, weighing herself multiple times a day, sometimes even during filming, and celebrating every lost pound as if it were an achievement. Production sources said concern reached a peak when she fainted during a long outdoor shoot in the scorching Texas heat. Leanne's transformation didn't just shock Dallas, it divided it. What began as a quest for confidence turned into a public unraveling. And while the city buzzed with concern, across the Atlantic, a London socialite was about to take the concept of microdosing to an entirely new and dangerous level.
I like to sort of go from very, very natural with hardly anything on. You know, I think I look great without makeup, actually, probably more youthful.
Amanda Caroline Cronin might not be a household name in America, but in London's elite circles, she's practically royalty. So when she casually confessed to microdosing Ozempic, as if it were just another beauty supplement, even the British upper class was left stunned. In just 6 weeks, Amanda shed 10 kilos, nearly 22 pounds, all in pursuit of one goal: to fit into runway samples designed for teenage models. On Instagram, she downplayed it with poise. "I only take tiny maintenance doses," she insisted, as if she were talking about her skincare routine, just enough to stay sample size. But her followers saw past the glamour instantly. Her feed turned into what many described as a disturbing chronicle of her slow disappearance. Monday, she's posing in Chanel couture. Wednesday, she's modeling Dior samples that barely would have fit her 3 months earlier. By Friday, she's aboard her yacht, posing in a designer bikini with ribs clearly visible beneath her glowing tan. What made Amanda's transformation especially troubling was the way she romanticized extreme thinness as luxury. Her captions read like high-fashion slogans: "Finally small enough for the front row," and "Couture fits better at this size." It was as if she wasn't buying clothes to fit her body. She was reshaping her body to fit the clothes. Soon, whispers spread through London's glittering charity galas. Amanda would arrive in breathtaking borrowed runway gowns, dazzling under the lights, but never touch the 5-course dinners served around her. Those close to her claimed she blamed allergies or dietary restrictions, but insiders knew the truth. Her so-called maintenance doses had all but erased her appetite.
"I'm not perfect, but I'm damn good, Danny."
And
Karen Huger, the Real Housewives of Potomac's self-proclaimed grande dame, had her explanation ready the moment her shocking weight loss became impossible to ignore. "It's medical," she said confidently. "I'm pre-diabetic. My doctor prescribed it." On paper, it sounded perfectly reasonable. But on camera, it told a very different story. Over the course of a single season, Karen's transformation was so striking that producers reportedly had to reshoot her confessionals just to maintain continuity. The once commanding matriarch, known for her poise, presence, and those perfectly tailored designer gowns, now appeared frail. The dresses that once defined her power suddenly draped off her frame like expensive silk curtains. But what truly fueled fan suspicion wasn't just the rapid change, it was the timing. Karen's slim down coincided almost exactly with castmates Giselle Bryant and Ashley Darby, who were also turning heads for appearing noticeably leaner. When the topic finally surfaced at the reunion, Karen stood firm. She cited her doctor's credentials and doubled down on her medical explanation. But for many viewers, it didn't add up. Behind the scenes, tensions were rising. Sources revealed that producers wanted Karen to address her transformation openly on camera, believing it would make for a powerful storyline. Karen refused, insisting that her health was a private matter. Yet that same season, she continued to post full-body photos on Instagram, tagging them with #healthyliving and #doctorsorders, creating an odd contradiction between her demand for privacy and her public display of the results. And while Karen chose to hide behind the veil of doctor's advice, another housewife, this time from Miami, would soon find herself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Because when she was caught on camera with a needle in hand, Her excuse didn't just go viral, it became instantly iconic.
Yeah, for me, it's been hard. It was very hard while I was filming, obviously.
The moment Bravo cameras caught Alexia Nepola getting injections, it became instant reality TV gold. There she was, needle in arm, confidently insisting they were nothing more than B12 fat-burning shots. But viewers weren't buying it. Within weeks, Alexia's transformation was so extreme that even her closest friends grew uneasy. Her rapid weight loss sparked online frenzy, with fans flooding Twitter, or X, with side-by-side comparison photos. The top comment on nearly every post said it all. B12 doesn't do that. Social media users pointed out the telltale signs: the hollowed-out cheeks, the fragile-looking arms, and the complete disappearance of the signature curves that had once defined her Miami glamour. What made the footage truly explosive wasn't just the injection itself, it was Alexia's fierce denial. When fellow cast member Lisa Hochstein questioned her about the shots on camera, Alexia snapped back, insisting that vitamins can cause major weight loss. The exchange instantly went viral, with fans calling it the least believable moment in Housewives history. The controversy spread like wildfire. Medical experts weighed in publicly, clarifying that B12 injections do not cause significant weight loss, not even close. Fans posted the clip everywhere, pairing it with captions like, "Tell me you're on Ozempic without telling me you're on Ozempic." Even housewives from other franchises joined the conversation, subtly subtweeting about vitamin shots, all clearly referencing the Miami chaos. And while Alexia's denial turned into a meme, on the other side of the country, one Beverly Hills diva was facing speculation so intense, she blamed everything under the sun, except the obvious.
Anytime that she would like to come on down and mix it up with us, I'm sure that we could unmask the ugly parts of her personality.
Erika Jayne's latest transformation didn't leave fans dazzled. It left them deeply concerned. In just 3 months, the once glamorous performer went from lush to lean, and her explanation, it's menopause, hormones, and stress, did little to convince anyone. The difference was impossible to ignore. At the season 13 premiere party, Erika arrived looking almost unrecognizable. The trademark curves that once defined her Hollywood bombshell image had vanished. Her face showed what fans described as temporal hollowing, and her $40,000 designer gown seemed to hang off her frame like it belonged to someone else. Even photographers, usually fixated on her fashion, began asking if she was feeling okay. But what turned quiet concern into full-blown controversy was her reaction. When Andy Cohen gently questioned her about the weight loss on Watch What Happens Live, Erika snapped, "My body, my business." The problem? In reality television, your body is part of the business, and fans weren't about to drop it. Soon, whispers spread through the Beverly Hills circle. Castmates began treading carefully, choosing their words like they were defusing a bomb. Garcelle Beauvais publicly admitted she was worried about Erika's health. Kyle Richards lightly suggested that maybe she should eat a little more. But every time the subject came up, Erika deflected. Hormones, age, stress, legal pressure. She blamed everything except the one explanation everyone suspected. And while Erika pointed fingers at biology, one Orange County housewife decided to take a drastic step to prove her innocence once and for all. And even that wasn't enough to stop the rumors.
Real quick and get 2 mix shots ready.
What's a mix shot?
What's a mix shot?
Lipotropic.
I need to know what's in the cocktail.
When the Ozempic rumors refused to die down, Gina Kirschenheiter decided to do something no other housewife had ever dared to do. She literally stepped on a scale during filming. What was meant to silence the whispers ended up becoming one of the most controversial and uncomfortable moments in Real Housewives of Orange County history. The shocking moment unfolded during a cast trip to Mexico. For days, Gina's co-stars had been dropping subtle comments about her suddenly slimmer figure. Finally, fed up and furious, Gina snapped, "You want proof? Here's proof." Dragging a bathroom scale into the center of the villa, she stood on it in front of everyone, cameras rolling, castmates watching, jaws dropping. But instead of ending the speculation, it set social media on fire. Fans began analyzing her displayed weight like forensic investigators. Online detectives compared her weight to her height, old photos, and previous seasons. The internet verdict? Those numbers don't match that body. Some even accused her of tampering with the scale or wearing hidden weights to make herself appear heavier. What started as a moment of defiance turned into a spectacle of humiliation. Heather Dubrow later called the scene degrading, while Shannon Beador said it was unnecessary and sad. And she wasn't wrong. Here was a grown woman, a mother of 3, forced to publicly prove her innocence over her own body. Ironically, the scale scene went viral for all the wrong reasons. Instead of silencing the rumors, it became a symbol of how toxic the Ozempic obsession had become in the Housewives universe. Gina's attempt to shut down the conversation only made it louder, proof that in the ruthless world of reality TV, even your body becomes public property. But Gina wasn't the only one caught in the crossfire, because hundreds of miles away, in Miami, another housewife found herself facing the exact same scandal.
Just unaware, just not. I feel like the word attack just seemed unnecessary for me saying, no, why you're just trying to embarrass her.
Marisol Patton never planned to become the face of the needle scandal, but that's exactly what happened when cameras caught her in a scene she'd never live down. During a filmed moment alongside Alexia Nepola, Marisol was seen casually getting injections on camera. Her explanation? They're just B12 shots. But the internet wasn't buying it. Overnight, Marisol went from Miami socialite to viral meme. The footage was impossible to ignore. Marisol, visibly slimmer than the previous season, smiling as the needle went in, swearing it was just vitamins. Within hours, Twitter was ablaze. B12 must be Spanish for Ozempic, one user joked. Another quipped, those vitamins hit different in Miami. What began as a throwaway scene turned into a full-blown PR disaster. Making things worse, Marisol didn't just defend herself, she defended Alexia too. "We go to the same vitamin specialist," she insisted on camera, while fans screamed at their TVs in disbelief. Even her castmates weren't amused. Lisa Hochstein reportedly told producers she felt gaslit by the obvious lies, while Gertie Abriera allegedly called the vitamin excuse insulting to viewers' intelligence. Still, Marisol doubled down. She took to Instagram, posting her vitamin routine with a curated feed of syringes, supplements, and smoothie shots, while carefully avoiding any mention of prescription medication. But side-by-side photos told a different story. Wedding pictures from just 6 months earlier showed a softer, fuller face. Now her jawline looked razor sharp, her arms lean, and that signature Miami glow had turned almost angular. Proof, fans argued, that the vitamin explanation didn't add up. While Miami's housewives were hiding behind wellness excuses, over in New York, one star decided to take a completely different approach, one that shocked everyone with its brutal honesty. You know how people say, "I saw myself on TV and got Botox and fillers and all the things?" Laughed Jessel Taank in an interview. "When it comes to Ozempic, I effing hate it. I would never." Jessel Taank's raw response may have made headlines, but her transformation told a different story, one that split fans straight down the middle. Throughout season 15, viewers watched her visibly shrink before their eyes. Her designer wardrobe, once a confident size 6, now draped loosely on her frame at a size 2. Her face showed that same hollowed, gaunt look that had become reality TV's new red flag. Yet Jessel refused to back down. She doubled down on her stance, calling the drug cheating and dangerous in every interview she gave. What made Jessel's case fascinating wasn't just the physical change, it was her rage over the accusations. During a girls' trip to the Hamptons, tensions finally boiled over. When Brynn Whitfield casually suggested that everyone just admit what they're doing, Jessel exploded. The fight was so heated, producers had to step in. Wine glasses flew, voices cracked, and Jessel stormed out of the room shouting about natural weight loss and discipline. Behind the cameras, the cast was split. Sai De Silva reportedly believed Jessel's story, citing her strict fitness routine, while Uba Hassan remained openly skeptical. The atmosphere on set grew toxic, with weight loss becoming the unspoken tension in every room. Producers, of course, ate it up. The drama meant ratings gold, but Jessel, she was miserable. Privately, she felt bullied, unfairly targeted for something she swore she hadn't done. While Jessel fought the accusations with fury and defiance, our next Beverly Hills star handled the same scrutiny with a completely different strategy, leaning on her career, discipline, and reputation for hard work to prove her point.
For me is, from what I understand, there's a shortage for people with diabetes, in which case I think that people should completely stop using it.
When Ozempic rumors reached Garcelle Beauvais, she didn't just deny them, she declared war. The accomplished actress, model, and talk show host called the speculation insulting and racist, pointing out how quickly people assume that Black women can't lose weight naturally. Her transformation during season 13 was noticeable, but far from extreme. Garcelle looked fit, strong, and healthy, the result of consistency, not shortcuts. But in Beverly Hills, any visible weight loss sets off Ozempic whispers, and Garcelle became the latest target. When fans began flooding her comments with accusations, Garcelle fought back with receipts. She posted gym selfies, detailed meal prep clips, and workout videos dating back months. "I've been in this industry for 40 years, she said firmly on her podcast. "I know how to maintain my body without shortcuts. The fact that people can't believe a Black woman can be disciplined, that's the real problem." Her response struck a chord far beyond the Housewives audience. It opened a broader conversation about double standards, race, and the scrutiny women, especially Black women, face when their bodies change. Garcelle didn't just defend herself, she flipped the narrative, turning what could have been another tabloid rumor into a powerful cultural moment about respect, representation, and resilience. What infuriated Garcelle the most wasn't just the rumors, it was how they erased her effort. For months, she'd been training 5 days a week, meal prepping every Sunday, and cutting out alcohol. Her transformation was the result of discipline and determination, not a prescription. But once the Ozempic whispers began, none of that seemed to matter. Every drop of sweat, every healthy choice was dismissed as the result of a needle. Even her castmates, some who'd faced similar scrutiny, recognized the unfairness. Erika Jayne, battling her own speculation, publicly defended Garcelle's dedication. Kyle Richards posted messages of support on Instagram, praising her consistency and strength. Yet despite their solidarity, the damage was already done. Garcelle's fitness journey, something she was genuinely proud of, had been hijacked by pharmaceutical gossip. Her situation exposed a painful truth about the so-called Ozempic era. It had become impossible for any woman to lose weight naturally without facing suspicion. Hard work no longer spoke for itself. Every visible change was instantly questioned, analyzed, and reduced to chemicals. Still, Garcelle didn't stay silent. Her sharp, confident clapbacks became legendary, filled with equal parts humor and truth. But behind the confidence was exhaustion, the fatigue of having to defend her own narrative in a world that refused to believe discipline still existed. And while Garcelle fought to reclaim her story, another Beverly Hills star was waging a far more personal battle, one that went far beyond public perception. Crystal Kung Minkoff's relationship with Ozempic wasn't about usage, it was about resistance. While others flaunted results or denied involvement, Crystal was honest about something much deeper, the temptation. "I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted," she admitted in one of the most vulnerable confessionals Beverly Hills had ever seen. When everyone around you is shrinking and calling it wellness, your ED brain starts screaming. That raw truth hit differently. While most housewives were selling transformation as empowerment, Crystal was exposing the mental health cost behind the trend. The constant comparison, the glamorization of rapid weight loss, and the subtle competitiveness of the cast dinners created a perfect storm for someone in recovery. Every event became a minefield, another chance to relapse into the mindset she'd spent years escaping. She later revealed she had to increase her therapy sessions just to survive filming. Surrounded by women obsessing over calories and injections, she became an accidental voice of reason. During one unforgettable dinner scene, she broke the tension by calling out the elephant in the room. We're glamorizing something that's basically prescription starvation. The table fell silent. No witty comebacks, no denial, just discomfort. Because she was right. Behind the scenes, sources claimed Crystal considered leaving the show entirely. The constant body talk, the unfiltered weight speculation, and the competitive dieting culture were taking a toll on her mental health. But instead of walking away, she chose to stay. Not for fame, but for representation. She wanted to be the voice for survivors watching at home, the ones triggered by the same images and conversations dominating their screens. Crystal's story wasn't about Ozempic use. It was about the casualties of obsession. She peeled back the glossy filter on Hollywood's newest addiction and showed the emotional wreckage underneath. While she fought to protect her recovery, one New Jersey housewife would take the opposite route, celebrating her transformation until celebration turned into controversy.
You never know what's going to happen, and life changes on a dime. Could be up one day, you could be down one day, and you have to be able to support yourself.
Margaret Josephs thought she was outsmarting the controversy by using new language. Instead of calling it Ozempic, she called them peptide therapies. The Real Housewives of New Jersey star, known for her sharp wit and business savvy, proudly announced she'd lost 22 pounds, believing that medical rebranding would make it sound more legitimate, even empowering. She couldn't have been more wrong. Margaret's transformation was dramatic. In just 4 months, her famous Jersey curves vanished, replaced by a sharply angular frame that had fans doing double takes. But the real storm didn't come from her appearance. It came from her marketing. Margaret didn't just use the treatments, she sold them. She posted her peptide journey online like a sponsored campaign. Daily updates, motivational captions, and doctor tags. She began referring followers to her clinic, claiming these therapies were the future of wellness. She even teased a potential book about aging gracefully through medical innovation. But what she framed as empowerment looked, to many, like exploitation. Her castmates were horrified. Teresa Giudice called it irresponsible. Jennifer Aydin accused her of promoting dangerous shortcuts. Even Dolores Katiana, usually Switzerland and Housewives drama, voiced concern about the message Margaret was sending to fans, that shrinking yourself was the new form of success. The reunion turned into a war zone. Margaret defended herself, saying she was being transparent and helping women take control of their aging. But critics, including her co-stars, said she was crossing the line between honesty and harmful influence. Behind the scenes, the cracks started showing. During a beach shoot, Margaret fainted on set. She blamed dehydration, but crew members whispered that she'd been dizzy and disoriented for days. The peptide protocol that she'd been promoting so confidently seemed to be taking a visible toll. Yet even then, Margaret refused to back down. It's worth it for the results, she insisted. Her pride in her peptides became symbolic of a bigger problem: how normalized extreme measures had become in the world of reality TV beauty. The woman who built an empire on empowerment had unknowingly begun selling the illusion of control, a message that said success and self-worth could be injected. Margaret wasn't hiding or denying, she was promoting. And that's what made her story one of the most unsettling chapters in the entire Housewives weight loss saga.
What? I don't care who's on Ozempic. I don't know what anyone's personal medical reason is for going on Ozempic, and I certainly understand the desire to be thin.
Jackie Goldschneider didn't just refuse Ozempic, she became its most powerful critic. In a world where everyone was chasing smaller, thinner, and younger, Jackie chose a different kind of courage.
saying no. "I know what it's like to be obsessed with being smaller," she confessed during one of the most emotional moments in Housewives history. "I know the high of not eating. That's what this drug does. It makes not eating easy. It's everything I fought to escape, now available by prescription." That raw honesty shook viewers and her castmates to their core. At a cast dinner meant to be about wellness, Jackie snapped. "Stop calling it wellness," she said fiercely. "It's voluntary starvation." The table went silent. Teresa Giudice accused her of being jealous. Margaret Josephs said she was projecting her past, but Jackie stood her ground, unshaken. What made Jackie stand so powerful was her history. She wasn't preaching from judgment. She was speaking from survival. Jackie had battled an eating disorder that nearly destroyed her health. She'd been hospitalized. She'd done the hard work to rebuild her relationship with food and her body. And now she was watching her friends and millions of women at home glamorize the very behaviors that once almost killed her. Behind the scenes, Jackie became something unexpected, a protector. Crew members later revealed that she quietly checked in on young assistants, warning them about the dangerous messages being filmed. She shared eating disorder resources on her social media, refusing to let the conversation fade into silence. Jackie's war against Ozempic wasn't about shaming others. It was about survival, hers and everyone else's. She'd fought too hard for recovery to watch it be sold as a shortcut. In a franchise built on transformation, Jackie became the only one fighting to stay the same, to stay healthy, grounded, and real. And in doing so, she exposed the haunting truth beneath all the glamour. The Real Housewives didn't just chase perfection, they marketed it, turning pain, pressure, and prescription starvation into primetime entertainment. The Ozempic era didn't just reshape their bodies, it reshaped the very soul of the franchise. We've watched women shrink themselves for the cameras, defend obvious lies, and normalize behaviors that would have once been seen as alarming. From Caroline's public spiral of side effects, to Kandi's $1,000 failure, from Cynthia's 30-day escape to Jackie's powerful stand, every story revealed another side of the same crisis, the relentless pressure to be smaller, no matter the cost. But out of all those stories, Jackie's message still echoes the loudest. This isn't wellness, it's an epidemic. And she's right. Until we stop celebrating the shrinking and start questioning the price of perfection, these transformations will only grow more extreme and more dangerous. Because the real question isn't who's using Ozempic, it's what happens when an entire culture decides that disappearing is the ultimate glow-up. If this is what reality TV has become, a stage for slow self-destruction disguised as self-care, then imagine what's happening behind the closed doors of Hollywood's biggest mansions. That story, it's still being written, and trust me, it's only getting darker from here. If this video found you eye-opening, share it with your friends and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories Hollywood doesn't want you to hear.